Braylon Edwards and Ryan Ermanni. Sit back and let's talk some Detroit sports right now on The Bottom Line.
And here we go. Tuesday, July 12th, 2022. Ermanni and Edwards. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon out today. In his stead, the great Tom Mazawey. How you doing, Maz?
I'm here.
Is my mic on, or I just can't hear myself?
I hear you.
You do?
I hear you loud and clear.
Very good. Very good.
Are you
Just had a
hooked
little
up?
problem with my earpiece, that's all.
We'll get you going. I do hear you, though.
Situation. Good.
I do
How
hear
you doing today, Maz?
I'm good, man.
Yeah? How's that sleep situation going?
I thought I was sleeping okay. I know I do snore, which is bad. It's because of that fat neck. Got to get rid of some of this fat.
What do you mean the fat neck?
The fat neck. You know.
What does that have to do with the sleeping?
Well, it's, you snore, so you don't sleep well. So I go to the neurologist again today.
You got another migraine.
Because I'm living with not migraines. So the neurologist seems to think that maybe I'm not sleeping as well. So he wants me to go for another sleep study. I already told him, look, I know I don't sleep perfectly well, but I passed the sleep test already years ago. So he's like, well, I want you to take another one. So I'm like, look, Doc, I'm not going to wear one of those masks that Tom Cruise wears in Top Gun. I'm not going to go to bed like an airline pilot in a fighter jet. I just can't. But then I talk to you, and you're like, man, it's not that bad.
It's no big deal, Maz.
I can't. Like, how do you go to sleep with like this?
How many people out there do you think who wear a sleep apnea machine? I wear a sleep apnea machine. I think it does wonders for my rest. And my wife, I don't think, would sleep with me without the sleep apnea machine.
My wife's a champ. She takes my snoring. My kids take on my snoring. I guess I'm like a sound machine, I guess.
It's probably so rhythmic, right?
I guess it is. But
are you an open mouth snorer?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't video myself, and thankfully no one else has.
That's the key there, that your family members are kind enough not to take video of you snoring.
So
because I
just want to get rid of these migraines once and for all. And I've been a lifelong migraine sufferer, but they're just worse in the last 6 months. And I got to figure out what the hell's going on.
All right, we'll find that out.
We'll figure it out.
A lot going on in the sporting world today. We are going to be joined by Jim Brandstatter, former voice of the Michigan Wolverines. Still hard saying former voice for Jim Brandstatter because he's just been around for so long.
He's a Wolverine.
I don't know Michigan football without Jim Brandstatter calling games, whether play-by-play or as an analyst, as a color guy.
He was the best analyst, period. Lions
and Michigan.
Without a question.
Yes.
The best.
So we'll talk to him about Gary Moeller. Also, get a different perspective, too. Bill Keenist will join us. Lions historian, worked with the organization for over 3 decades. I believe he's still doing work with the NFL now on the broadcast side of things. But he was around when Gary Moeller was the Lions head coach and how that all went down. And keep in mind, he had signed, I believe, a 3-year deal with the Lions before Matt Millen came in and broomed him out after Paul Edinger hit that field goal. I was there at that game.
I was on the press box PA. It was a Christmas Eve, and I said Merry Christmas to everyone as we left the press box that day as the Lions got eliminated from the playoffs. They don't kick that field goal, they go to the playoffs.
And Gary Moeller probably remains the Lions coach, and they probably do a lot better job than they did with Matt Millen running the show.
And Marty Morningwood.
Marty Morningwood probably
disaster.
never happens.
What a disaster.
Tiger Woods making news today, Gronk making news today. But I did want to start, Tom, with the Detroit Tigers, if I could. And I don't think I want to spend a lot of time on the Detroit Tigers because I am thoroughly disgusted with the Detroit Tigers.
I get it.
After a 6-game win streak in which you feel like they are making a little bit of progress here. Like, okay, you know what? Maybe they'll do the same thing that they did last year, and you can string a couple of winning months together. You get swept in a doubleheader yesterday by the worst team in the division, the Kansas City Royals, one of the worst teams in the league, one of the worst teams in baseball. You get swept in a doubleheader. And I kind of think this is rock bottom where this franchise is right now. This is
No, it's not rock bottom.
Yesterday's sweep by the Royals was my rock bottom this season.
All right.
Because you feel like you got a little bit of hope. Then you lose 2 to the Chicago White Sox, and now you lose a couple more to the Royals, and you have now given back just as much as you gave everything back.
You won
really.
6 in a row. You lost 4 in a row now. 2 of those 4 losses were tough losses. The other 2 were blowout losses. They don't hit when they need them, and they don't pitch when they need them. It's not a good team. It's not a put together. They're not a good team. They're just not. There's no way we could even talk about it. There's nothing. They don't have. You look at A.J. Hinch last night, and he's at a loss for words. There's nothing to even talk about with them. They just don't have it. And the kid at first base, the guy that you put everything into,
0 for 7 yesterday.
He doesn't have it.
Spencer
Torkelson. It might be time to send him down now, and I'll say it now. Yeah, it's at the halfway point of the season, but it might be time to give him a rest and send him down now.
I think you bring up an interesting point, Maz, that there's nothing to even talk about with this team. I have no interest in the Detroit Tigers. I believe I'm a pretty big baseball guy, and I couldn't care less about the Detroit Tigers. I guarantee you there isn't going to be a time, unless they do something that leads me to believe that I want to watch them, because they're not entertaining to watch.
No.
They do nothing to entertain you, even if they're not going to win. Last year, they had a losing record, 77-85, but at least they were entertaining to watch.
Yeah.
They played hard every night.
Second half of the year.
Right. But they had 4, more than the second half of the year. They had 4 winning months last year.
True. April was terrible.
April was terrible, and then they had 4 winning months. There's nothing redeeming about this season. I don't care about this season. I don't care about this team. I don't care if A.J. Hinch stays or not, to be honest with you.
That's pretty sad, too, because we all thought he was the guy.
What has A.J. Hinch done? Can anybody in YouTube land explain this to me? What has A.J. Hinch brought here that leads you to believe this guy is God's gift to managing? Because that's all that we have talked about in regards to A.J. Hinch. We can't believe that the Tigers stole A.J. Hinch. We can't believe that A.J. Hinch is the Tigers manager. Thank God for that sign-stealing scandal, because that led us to be able to get A.J. Hinch. Has he delivered anything? Carlos Correa, maybe a couple of wins. Justin Verlander. I know A.J. Hinch isn't the general manager, but has he done anything for you, Tom?
Well, from the people I talk to, they tell me his greatest strength is working the pitching staff, adding arms, helping the general manager say, okay, let's go out and get these arms. And he has put together, he and Al Avila and the scouts have put together a hell of a bullpen. And they have slapped together a hell of a pitching staff, considering the guys that they have brought up, all the rookies that they have brought up, all the people they have signed, including Eduardo Rodriguez, have all gotten hurt or went AWOL. And look what they have done. The pitching has been very good. The defense has been much better than last year.
Has it?
Yes, it is. It's better than last year. Numbers-wise, it's better than last year. So if we had, let's just say, Dan Dickerson was on the other line, and we were talking to him, he would give us all the good numbers that laymen like us don't see. So A.J. Hinch does have the magic touch when it comes to the bullpen, and even us guys have to see, yeah, the Tigers are pretty good in the bullpen. I bet you a lot of teams out there would like to have the bullpen that the Tigers have.
The only problem when you say that, the only problem that I have in regards to this is they're not very high-stress innings. You know, I mean, it's not like you're basically fighting to stay out of the basement in the AL Central. There's not a lot of stressful innings that these guys
still the
are
majors,
pitching.
man.
I mean, I understand that it's still the majors and they're fine, but when we're picking out little things that, they do well just to find some sort of good conversation to have in regards to this baseball team.
But that's
it's
all we got.
Frustrating.
You asked about A.J. Hinch. I'm trying to give you what he does bring to the table.
And I understand
that. He can't help you if those guys aren't hitting.
Well, then it's up to him to do something. It's like if you're an offensive head coach and you know nothing about the defense in the NFL, you better hire a really good defensive coordinator.
Or get better players.
If you're A.J. Hinch and you're just about pitching and defense, well, then you better hire somebody that knows how to get these guys to hit because they cannot hit. And I am not letting Al Avila off the hook here. Al Avila should be fired. Bar none. That's it. It's over. He should not get a chance to have another rebuild. This is 7 years of Al Avila. And I guarantee you this much. Al Avila's numbers have not been good. They have not been any better than they were 7 years ago. In any business, if you are in the sales business, if your numbers today are the same as they are 7 years from now, you're not getting 7 years. You're fired well before that.
No doubt. The thing is, we went on the cheap.
Al's
cheap.
I don't care. If our numbers here at Woodward Sports are what they are 7 years from now, what they are today, I'm not here. We're all groomed. All of us. So why is it Al Avila gets the opportunity to do yet another rebuild? Why does Al Avila get to trade Gregory Soto?
Right.
Why does Al Avila get to perhaps trade Tarek Skubal? Mm-hmm. And I understand that's probably not going to happen. But are we in a total rebuild again? Are you going to have to maybe try to who did we? Lynn Henning was the one that wrote about that a couple of weeks ago.
He did.
So I referenced that.
We had him on.
Part of it. Yeah. We had him on to talk about it. Why does Al Avila get to do that? There is no other job in the universe where you could be equally as bad as you were 7 years ago.
Yeah, I know.
And continue on.
It's bad. It's a bad team. It's a bad scene. I feel sorry for everyone involved, the broadcasters, the broadcasting team, everything. It's not a good watch. I love baseball. I watch baseball. I'm flipping channels, man. I go to the next game. To the next game.
I really don't know what there is to say about the Detroit Tigers. I'm clearly and justly not interested any longer. And I don't know if we need to have a moratorium on the Tigers or what.
No, we still talk about
it. But I'm just so frustrated by them because I was one of the sickos that thought they had a chance this year.
What do I always tell you? 2 words. Vegas knows. They said 74.5. Vegas knows.
So there you go, man.
That's all I got to say.
You had the last word.
What did I tell you about the Lions?
Yeah, we will get
5, 6, or 7.
We will get to some Tigers talk. Read what you guys have to say as well. If you want to get in, go ahead. We'll read some of your YouTube comments on our Woodward Sports channel. Go ahead and like our show. Subscribe to Woodward Sports Network. Coming up on 30,000 subscribers. How about that? Just about less than 1,700 subscribers away from that 30,000 mark on YouTube. That is a pretty significant number, and we want to get well past that and surpass that.
Yeah.
Like the show, lots coming up. Jim Brandstatter coming up in about 20 minutes. We will talk about the legendary coach here in our state, Gary Moeller.
Well loved.
Well loved as well.
Did you read Mitch today?
Huh?
Did you read
read Mitch. I thought Mitch was a great column by Mitch Album today. We'll tell you about that.
You made one mistake, though, that I'll correct.
All right. We'll get to that next. Ermanni and Edwards. Maz in for, Maz is always in, but Maz sitting in the chair for Braylon today. But first, a message from Chili Peppers Tanning.
That's right. Our good friends at Chili Peppers Tanning. 27 locations, 2 right here on beautiful Woodward Avenue. If you join the Pepper Club at Chili Peppers Tanning, you're going to get the best deals, plus they'll beat all competitors by $5 on unlimited tanning and more. Plus you get to meet the Chili Pepper girls. That's right. The hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, the darkest tans, your vitamin D headquarters. For more information, it's chilipepperstanning.com.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991? Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Hey, everybody, it's Maz
for
Big Boy. I didn't have him yesterday at the golf course, but he's here today.
Big Boy.
Here he is. It's the Ciabatta Summer at Big Boy. Ciabatta Summer salads, hand-dip shakes, all at Big Boy. Try a chicken club, a chicken cordon bleu, or a sunrise ham and cheddar, all on grilled ciabatta bread. Or keep it light with the Michigan apple, chicken Caesar, or Greek salad. Gotta love the Greek salad. Don't forget to cool off after that with a hand-dipped cookies and cream, chocolate, or strawberry shake. You heard it here first. Summer just got better at Big Boy. For more information, it's bigboy.com.
Ryan, Ermanni, Tom Mazawey, Braylon out today. He'll be back tomorrow. Maz, story of the day locally here, I think yesterday, was the fact that Gary Moeller, former Michigan Wolverines head coach, former Detroit Lions head coach, passed away. Mitch Albom wrote, I thought, a pretty darn good piece in the Detroit Free Press regarding Gary Moeller today. I thought Tony Paul had a great message on his Twitter as well regarding Gary Moeller.
Yep.
You just, and it's a lesson that I think I learned a long time ago. You never judge a man by his worst moment. And I think when you think of Gary Moeller, sadly, for many of us, you remember how it ended at Michigan. And not so much the really good things they did, back-to-back Big Ten championships, a 4-5 bowl record, coaching a Heisman Trophy. 4 out of 5.
Yeah.
Coaching a Heisman Trophy winner in Desmond Howard, that catch in the end. Like he was there's so much good regarding Gary Moeller. And for whatever reason, that night at the Excalibur has lingered on the Gary Moeller story, and I hate that. I'm saddened by that.
Me too.
Because that's what, rightly or wrongly, and we all know it's wrong to think that, but why must we insist on thinking about that in regards to Gary Moeller?
Because that's how we are. We always think, oh, it's that guy. Oh, he did that. He was mad at his wife that night. So he drank a little too much at dinner that night. He refused a cab ride home that night. He did some things he didn't want to do that night. It was a bad night all around. It's a shame. It's a sin that people, that's all they remember. They don't remember the man itself, the leader of men. And here's a guy that could have got a job at any other college, if you ask me, if they would have given him a chance. I disagree how Michigan, I don't think Michigan should have let him go.
And nobody believes that now. I don't think so.
Yeah, but you know what? Guess what? If he would have done that now and this day, he would have been gone probably the next freaking day.
First-time offender?
Yeah, first-time offender. He would have been gone now. So, but back in the day, you don't think something like that would have happened. But you can't do things like that at Michigan. But he was Bo Schembechler's right-hand man. He wanted to go, and Illinois offered him a job. And he said, Bo, should I take this job? He's like, yeah, you got to go take this job. But you never cross Bo. You know, if you leave Bo Schembechler, you don't get a job back at Bo. But guess what? Illinois let him go after 3 years.
Right.
And they said, hey, I'd like to come back. He said, damn right you can come back. And they're like, wow, Bo Schembechler took a guy back. Not only did they take him back, when Bo retired, Bo, who's going to replace you? Gary Moeller. Like that. The right-hand man. And without Gary Moeller, there's no Lloyd Carr. He's such a good man. And then he goes to the Lions when it all's said and done. I was so happy. I liked Bobby Ross when he came here. I thought he was going to be good. It didn't work out. We got him at the tail end of his career.
I'm a good football coach.
I'm a good man. I don't coach that stuff.
I'm a good football coach. I don't coach those things.
We broke him down. We sent Bobby Ross to the loony bin here with the Lions.
Isn't that something?
We broke down a good man. But you know what? It was at the end of his career. His way of coaching didn't work anymore, and he couldn't accept that. Gary Moeller took it over, and I was like, wow, we finally got a guy that's going to take us in to the next decade. And we're going to win with this guy. This is the guy we're going to win with. And then, of course, Paul Ettinger kicks us out of the playoffs. We get Matt Millen, who I thought was going to be a great GM. I'll admit it.
I did too, to be honest with you. I did too. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I didn't think so.
He brings in Marty Mornhinweg, and I was very disappointed. And now remember, I was at the Super Bowl that year, and we heard the press conference at the Super Bowl. And I said, is this guy a stand-up comic? I mean, I could not believe that this was going to be the new Lions head coach. The bar is high. I'll never forget it. What
a Looney Tune
and we
he was.
really have never really been the same since that day.
It's been a miserable 20 years in the Detroit Lions franchise since Gary Moeller left the Detroit Lions. You did say in Mitch's piece, and for those of you who don't know the story, maybe you don't know the story of Gary Moeller, and if you don't, he was at a Southfield restaurant 27 years ago called the Excalibur. I don't believe it's there anymore. It's not even there anymore. But he got drunk. He drove. He got pulled over.
He got pissed at his wife.
He got pulled over, and I believe he hit a cop and was yelling belligerent. And that was the end of his Michigan coaching tenure. That was it. There was just no coming back from that. Oh. There was no other prior behavior that indicated that this was a regular thing for Gary Moeller, but it was something that happened, and it has followed him essentially everywhere he's gone. Because, and I think the reason why it followed him along the way, Maz, was because of how good so many people believed Michigan. Now, look, Lloyd Carr came, won a national championship, was very relevant in the college football landscape for over a decade after that and beyond when Lloyd Carr took over. But how good could Michigan have been if Gary Moeller would have continued on?
He might have been the next Bo.
And honestly, another way to look at this, if Gary Moeller didn't finish with a couple of 8-4 records leading up to that accident, would he still be the coach?
You don't know. That's why we're going to ask Brandy that.
At Michigan, 8-4 back then was not very good.
No, that's a sin.
That was really bad, especially after back-to-back Big Ten championships.
That's a sin nowadays too, by the way. Except it's a passing grade.
You can get away with a lot of things. You can get away with a lot of things as an athlete, as a coach, when you're good. First example that comes to my mind is Urban Meyer. If Urban Meyer was a winning coach with Jacksonville, he probably would still be the coach.
He would have survived
when things come out, right?
His just kept piling on, and the kick to the kicker was the end of it. That it had to be over. Maybe people were just piling on him at that point. If Urban Meyer got another job right now, that team would, in college. That team would probably assume greatness within 3 years. Yeah. I truly believe that.
So,
do you not believe that? Urban Meyer?
Look,
still,
I'm a big believer in Urban Meyer as a head coach.
Urban Meyer, as you used to call him?
Urban Meyer. I called him. Excuse me. I called him that one time. Guys, going to take a break. Jim Harbaugh commented on Gary Moeller. We'll have Jim Brandstatter as well. We'll do it all next. Ermanni and Edwards. Braylon out today. Maz in for him. But first, a message from Cintron.
The summer of Cintron is here, and now Cintron is available at Kroger. Make sure you pick some up while you're shopping. Right now, get 2 Cintrons for only $4. Cintron is the new energy drink for the active lifestyle. Drink it, live it with Cintron.
When you need apparel, there's only one place to go. Big Frog in Novi. With no setup fees, no artwork fees, no minimum, and a 24-hour turnaround, you can have your whole team outfitted in no time. Embroidery, direct-to-garment, vinyl, and screen printing, Big Frog has it all in all the styles you want. So whether it's a sports team, fundraiser, school event, or corporate needs, Big Frog is your one-stop destination. Visit bigfrog.com/Novi or call 844-4-BIG-FROG.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
All summer long, the Monroe Street Midway is open in downtown Detroit. Enjoy basketball, roller skating, mini golf, art, live music, food trucks, and more. A fun, safe event for everyone between the ages of 1 and 100. Go to deckedoutdetroit.com for more info. Again, that is deckedoutdetroit.com.
Jim Brandstatter going to join us in about 10 minutes from now. Ken Brown... KB is in the chat, and I did. I do want to make this correction. The wife went to sit in the car. Gary was arrested outside the Excalibur.
Gotcha.
And that is absolutely true. So
I think they wanted to call a cab for him, and he refused the cab.
That's right.
Thanks, Kenny.
Kenny Brown's the best, man.
The only mistake Mitch made in his article?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you. What was the mistake?
The only mistake was his Godfather reference. When he said I forgot what he said, how he put it, but he said Don Corleone wanted Michael to be his right-hand man, when in fact he really didn't want Michael to have any part of the business. That's all. Like Bo wanted Mo to be his right-hand man as quick as Don Corleone wanted Michael to be his right-hand man. That was the only difference.
I did think. Sorry, Mom. I did think this eulogy essentially by Mitch Albom did capture the story as good as can be.
Perfect.
Because it's, I mean, even the title, Gary Moeller deserved better in his football life because of how he lived.
Yep.
And it just talks about this sad moment.
Yeah.
And why we immediately go to the negative on people.
I think of it instantly. Instantly, I think of it. And I hate that. I hate thinking.
I hate myself for bringing it up.
The two things I think of is that and how he got fired by the Lions. Those are the two things I think of.
Paul Ettinger and Excalibur.
That's what I think of. And
Why?
I hate that. And I love Gary Moeller.
It pisses me off that I'm sitting here talking about it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
What's wrong with me? Is there something wrong with me?
Yeah, we're just idiots. We're stupid.
I mean, seriously, I wish I didn't even bring it up, because it's people like us that, I don't want to say, dictate the pace of the conversation, but I do believe we have our finger on the pulse of how a lot of people think.
Yep.
And I think a lot of people think those two things.
That's how we...
Excalibur and Paul Ettinger.
I think we could throw a lot of names out there, and I'm trying to think as I'm talking. If I throw a name out there, you might think of a bad reference of a name. You might think of a bad reference. And as you're talking, I'm going to think of something. And I'm going to throw a name out at you, and you're going to throw a story
Deshaun
out.
Watson.
Yeah, of course. You're not going to think how good a quarterback he is. You're going to think about that.
Well, I mean, that's a terrible example.
Right.
But it was the
Lance
first
Armstrong.
Steroids. But I mean,
Barry Bonds.
But again, the difference between those players that we're mentioning and Gary Moeller is that this was an isolated incident.
He was a good man who led a good life. Good family.
Can you imagine how different Michigan football would have been had that night never happened, or had Gary Moeller never resigned, or
I don't know. You know why? Because we were lucky enough and blessed enough to have Lloyd Carr.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe if you got Rich Rodriguez after him, maybe you're talking a different story. I don't know.
Does Michigan win the national championship in 1997?
Don't know.
If Gary Moeller is the head coach. A lot of people believe that Lloyd Carr was going to get fired after that 96 season or into that 97 season if he didn't do anything.
Yeah, they always wanted his head, too.
At that point. We always wanted Lloyd Carr's head. I never wanted Lloyd Carr's head.
He was always my fave.
Yeah. But, I mean, you're looking at Michigan in a 4-year stretch. The last 2 years of Gary Moeller, 8-4, 8-4. And then Lloyd Carr, 9-4, 8-4. So there was a 4-year stretch by Michigan football where they had 4 straight years of 4 lost seasons. And that was, at the time, unacceptable at Michigan. Now, Lloyd Carr didn't have another 4-loss season. Well, he had one until that 2005 year. But you get the point. I mean, just incredible stuff to think about that way.
Let's hope Gary, rest in peace, Gary, and let's change the narrative on him going forward. That's it.
Without question. We'll get to Jim Brandstatter in just a couple of minutes, but I did want to make mention of this. The USC story that has been kind of joining us in the news late. Sorry, guys. I'm having some ear problems. I did want to get the Jim Harbaugh up. Did you get that Jim Harbaugh up comment on
his quote
on Jim Brandstatter? Let's throw it up right now.
On Gary Moeller.
I'd be remiss if I didn't read this. The football world lost a great man in Gary Moeller. Coach Moeller cared for his players and his teams and was devoted to the University of Michigan. He gave a lot to the game of football, excelling as both an offensive and defensive coordinator and head coach in college and the NFL ranks. We have lost a wonderful man. My thoughts and prayers are with his wife, Ann, as well as their daughters, Susan, Amy, and Molly, and my former teammate and fellow captain, Andy Moeller. That's right. Rest in peace, Coach Mo, and go blue. Some Jim Harbaugh, Michigan's football coach. So really good stuff there.
Yesterday was also the 20-year anniversary of the passing of John Vitale, the funeral of John Vitale, too. He's a good friend. We're a good friend of the family. Lynn Vitale is like a sister to us at home. John Vitale was a beloved Michigan athlete, and just wanted to send our thoughts and prayers out to the Vitale family.
Without question. Just moving the conversation along to today's college football and where we're at. It is news now that USC and UCLA are coming to the Big Ten. They're doing so because of money, and we mentioned this when it was coming. $1.25 billion.
Not bad, huh?
That's what the Big Ten has a media rights value increasing.
25% it went up.
$1.2 billion. So what does this mean for USC and UCLA? Instead of bringing home each about $30 million in their broadcast rights, they will be both bringing home now about $100 million.
Wow. That's unbelievable.
That is why this is all happening.
And UCLA, from what I read, was about to fold up a bunch of sports that they don't have to anymore. Mm-hmm. So their minor league sports, if you want to call it that, their secondary sports, are now surviving thanks to this move. But I'll tell you, a guy that's not happy about the move is probably a guy named Lincoln Riley. Lincoln Riley thought he was going to go rule the roost in the Pac-12. I don't think he was expecting this type of move to the big boys again, because I don't think he's developed himself, the big guys in the trenches as well, going into the Big 12, into the Big 10 again. He wanted to move away from this.
Yeah, that's why. Right, he was happy to go to the Pac-12.
Get the hell out of there.
More of a finesse league.
Exactly.
Nobody plays defense.
He's got his quarterback. He's got his wide receiver.
It's like a 7-on-7 week in and week out. And now you actually have to go run the football.
I know.
You got to go keep the chains moving. You got to play a little defense. And I'm not sure he's capable of doing that right now. And I brought up the analogy yesterday. I actually think it's a pretty good analogy. That's the Penn State analogy.
Yeah.
I mean, when Penn State came to the Big Ten every single year, nobody had a chance anymore. Joe Paterno and the Penn State Nittany Lions were coming to town. They were going to be the new dominant force in the Big Ten. I believe they won it in '95 with Kerry Collins and Kajana Carter.
I told you.
And then that was it for about 20 years. Yeah. And I think that could be something similar that we have here.
I hope you're right, man.
We'll see, and that's why they play the games. Guys, we're going to take a break. Come right back. When we do, we'll be joined by Jim Brandstatter, former voice of the Michigan Wolverines. Still odd saying that.
It's our guy, Brandy.
We'll get to him next. But first, a message from Guardian Alarm. Whether it's your home or your business, Guardian Alarm, they keep you safe, protect you, give you peace of mind. Whether it's your home or business, Guardian Alarm has 24/7 local monitoring. They're your local security experts, have been for over 90 years, keeping you safe always. And with that, if you would like more information, call that number above my head right now, 1-800-STAY-OUT. That number again, 1-800-STAY-OUT. Call them today. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you. We'll be right back.
Hey, it's Sean Jordan from the Sports Marketing Agency. And SMA wouldn't be who we are without our amazing partners.
Thank you so much, Sean. You know, at Detroit Wayne, we want to serve as a resource for you and your families. We offer mental health services, substance use disorder services throughout our communities, and we want to be that source and resource within the community.
If you or a loved one are suffering from a mental health or substance abuse issue, please don't hesitate to call 1-800-241-4949.
New to the game or a season better? OddsTrader.com has everything you need to make the right bet ahead of kickoff. Begin your handicapping journey with OddsTrader. Improve your edge by finding the best price on every game from sportsbooks in your backyard. Take advantage of the numerous sign-up bonus offers to pad your bankroll. Dive into key game statistics, player performance, and even account for the projected game day weather. Best of all, you can use the OddsTrader Bet Tracker to keep a log of your action. Welcome to OddsTrader, and best of luck.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Welcome back, Woodward Sports Network. Happy to have you along with us. If you are watching on Twitter or Facebook, we have ended those feeds. I think we did that a while back.
It's all right. It's a good reminder.
Our YouTube channel. Fletch actually reminded me about 10 minutes ago to say that, and I have forgotten to do that. I'm having problems with my earpiece today.
And you're hot.
I'll work it out. And I'm sweating my tail off in here.
Loosen your tie.
It doesn't matter. The tie is loose.
How about roll up your sleeves?
Fine. It doesn't even matter. I'm just no good when it's hot.
I get it.
That's just the bottom line. And it's not that hot outside today.
Well, it is.
It's like 80. It's fine.
Okay.
It's not terrible. But it's like a sauna in here.
I know
today.
another guy that sweats.
I'm no good.
There's another guy that sweats. He's on the phone.
Well, Jim Brandstatter joining us now, former voice of the Michigan Wolverines. Jim, first of all, thank you for joining us. And I have a hard time saying former voice of Michigan football.
Well, thanks, Ryan. I appreciate it. But, you know, I looked at it a couple of times. I actually did retire. I said it.
Are you having fun? What are you doing, Jim?
I've got projects going on. I've got an audio book I'm working on right now, and I've got some other things going on with new website and things like that. And I'm taking my time, playing a little golf and running around. Robbie and I are going to travel some, but you know, right now I'm just kind of taking it easy. What I'm trying to do, Ryan, is actually create my own job description for what I'm going to do the rest of my life, because I don't want to do nothing.
Right.
I don't want to just sit on my butt. So I'm kind of creating that new job description of what I want to do. And it's only the things that I want to do on my time schedule and nobody else's. And that's the beauty of retirement, I think.
Well, God bless you on that, Jim. Obviously, a tough day for a lot of Michigan fans. Gary Moeller passes yesterday. And I'm not sure if you heard what Maz and I were talking about a little bit as we opened the show, but I'm almost mad at myself for thinking about the incident with Gary Moeller and what could have been had it not been for that night. It's almost like when I think of Gary Moeller, I think of this moment and I hate myself for doing that. Why do we do that, Jim? And what do you think about relation with Gary Moeller?
Well, I don't know, other than the fact that it's kind of like in the old days when you went to a NASCAR race because you're kind of waiting for a crash. You didn't want to go see the race. You didn't want to see the competition. You kind of see who's going to pile up. And I think that's kind of, in many ways, it's kind of like the way our media, the way our interests have gone. You want to see the disaster first. I mean, they made a movie about the Titanic, not because it made it across the Atlantic successful,
right?
Because it's and so there's that kind of thing going on. But the thing that I want to make sure people understand is don't judge this man by that one incident. And it was an out-of-body experience. It was a mistake. He readily admitted it. But Gary Moeller did so much good for so many young men that he coached and the people that he came in contact with. That's what should be remembered about him. And I know there's no way you're going to get away from people bringing it up. But at the same time, make sure you bring up the positives in his life, because his positives far outweigh any of the negatives that came from that one evening. And that I know is a fact. The guy was a class act, a great coach, and he didn't get as good as he deserved. He deserved a lot better. But you never heard him complain. You never heard him make excuses. Gary Moeller always looked forward and had a positive attitude. I love that about that guy.
Brandy, it's Tommy. All those 8 and 4s that he had, let's say that night doesn't happen. What do you expect going forward from him? Does he win a national title like Lloyd did?
I wouldn't be surprised, certainly. I mean, he was that good of a coach. He was an excellent recruiter. Don't forget, he was innovative, too. This guy took Michigan from the Bo Schembechler kind of conservative type of play to a no-huddle passing offense. In his year when he got out of there, he had a receiver, boys and girls, win the Heisman Trophy under Gary Moeller. So that shows you the kind of innovative coach he was and his willingness to change and let his personnel do the talking. And from that standpoint, I think Mo would have been a coach at Michigan for a long time. Now, that being said, you look at history, and obviously Lloyd took over and reaped the benefits of what Mo and Bo had set the groundwork for and won a national championship in '97. So historically, maybe it was meant to be for Lloyd. But the reality of life is that Gary Moeller was one solid, great coach and the architect of tremendous Michigan memories.
Jim, what is his legacy at Michigan? I mean, 3 Big Ten championships, 4 bowl wins in 5 years. I mean, that's as good a stretch as anybody in the history of the school.
There's no question, and you're right. That's his legacy that's on the record books, but I think you got to look deeper than that. You ask anybody, and I know, Ryan, you worked around Michigan football, and so has Tommy. Every player that you would have talked to, even at the Lions, I know Scott Kolakowski played for Mo when he was a linebacker with the Lions. Every player that played for him will tell you, I love that guy. He was a player's coach. He made me better. I loved his attitude. I loved his passion. I think that's his legacy. That he took young men, molded them into leaders, made them better players, and I think made them better people. In my judgment anyway, and I agree with you that on the surface, that record that we all look at as a coach, what did you do, how many wins and losses and all that other stuff, but don't ever forget those intangibles that coach left along the way. And I guarantee you, from the time I was at Michigan in 1969, and he was a brand new, fresh assistant with Bo, every player that I knew that played on those teams with Gary Moeller, and I followed him from Michigan to Illinois to the Detroit Lions. Every player that played for Gary Moeller, I would tell you, would have a good word to say. That to me is his legacy.
Brandy, should Joe Roberson have fired him, or should he have survived this one-time offense?
He should have survived. I mean, if Don Cannon were there and Joe Roberson wouldn't, Gary Moeller would have remained the head coach at Michigan.
Do you think that?
Right through. Tommy, you asked the question.
I know.
You asked the question.
I know it.
That's my answer.
Do you think you're the only? You're not the only one that would say that answer. Am I correct?
I don't think so. As a matter of fact, I know one guy that passed away that used to be the head coach of Michigan, felt the same way.
Yeah.
Hey, Brandy, obviously the tenure with the Detroit Lions, I mean, and you were there when that ended as well. I mean, I think most Lions fans felt really good about the Lions' direction with Gary Moeller as head coach. And then all of a sudden, Paul Ettinger makes the field goal, knocks the Lions out of the playoffs, and we get Marty Mornhinweg. What do you remember back to that time and the direction of the Detroit Lions at that time under Gary Moeller?
Well, I remember Mo took over for Bobby Ross when, let's face it, that franchise midseason was kind of in a shambles. Your head coach walks out the door. He comes in as an interim guy, and he won more games than he lost. And he got them right to the cusp of the playoffs. That's a remarkable achievement in its own right. With a team that was on the edge of going over the edge, he brought them back, won a couple of games, actually beat the Giants and the Jets in New York during that stretch. And then that Ettinger field goal, made way for Matt Millen and Marty Mornhinweg, and Gary did not get the shot that I think he deserved. And he was so positive about this team when he came back, even with the loss to the Bears. I remember talking to him saying, we're close. We got a great group of kids, and he loved leadership. He said, I've got great leaders on this team. And they showed it by coming back from their head coach leaving and then coming in and playing for me. I think we got a great nucleus, and I think I got a shot to make this thing happen here in Detroit. And then the rug was pulled out from underneath him on the 52-yard field goal by Ettinger. But he did not get the great breaks that so many others may have gotten, and I feel bad for that. He didn't get as much as he deserved, I think, but he never complained and didn't make excuses. He just stayed positive and moved forward. That's what I love about the guy.
Brady, I can't help but think part of Gary Moeller's, legacy as well is what would have been. What would have been at Michigan and what would have been with the Detroit Lions. Because he should have kept both jobs. Yeah. I mean, it's almost like what would have been with this guy.
No, you're right. And that's the big question. What woulda, coulda, shoulda. And we'll never know. But I do know this. I know the man. And I know that he would have been a positive influence on the people that he coached going forward and the program that he was leading. I know that for a fact because that's who Gary Moeller was. So I think that's a great question, and maybe that is his legacy. He's the greatest what-if coach that maybe ever walked through the Detroit Lions University of Michigan Hall.
No doubt. Hey, Jim, do you have another segment for us? I'd like to talk to you about today's Michigan football team and Jim Harbaugh and recruiting and NIL and all that other good stuff. And USC and UCLA in the Big Ten.
Sure. No problem.
Great. Thanks. Jim Brandstatter going to be with us. 30-second break. First, a message from Gypsy Vodka.
Your official drink of summer is here, the Mulligan made with Gypsy Vodka. When you are out on the golf course or hanging out in the backyard, the Mulligan is calling your name. Ask for the Mulligan at your local golf course or at a Total Wine near you.
Detroit's downtown summer playground is back. Open all summer long, the Monroe Street Midway. Enjoy roller skating, free Wi-Fi, food trucks, art installations, and so much more. Don't forget to take advantage of the basketball court, putt-putt, and, of course, family programming all summer long. All art installations are done by Detroit artists, and it's a fun, safe event from people 1 to 100. Go to deckedoutdetroit.com.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard.
Corner, jumper,
Tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Flannel Sam here for the Academy of Warren. The Academy of Warren features brand new state-of-the-art sports dome field house that has a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, and soccer field. Also can be used for 7-on-7 football. It also enrolls K through 8. It has AM and PM latchkey, small classroom sizes, learning street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Houghton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, and K through 8 athletics. Enroll today at academyofwarren.net. Again, that's academyofwarren.net.
Right back here, Woodward Sports Network. Ryan, Ermanni, Tom Mazawey, Braylon's out today talking with Jim Brandstatter, a longtime voice of the Michigan Wolverines and analyst for the Detroit Lions, by the way. We
the best.
Certainly the best. Brandy, when you heard the news that USC and UCLA were joining the Big Ten, what was your initial thought?
Initial thought was, it wasn't a big surprise because when Texas and Oklahoma went from the Big 12 to the SEC, you knew that was just the first, volley across everyone's bow. And somebody was coming next. And I give the Big Ten credit. They said, you know what, we're not going to let the SEC just, roll over everybody. We're going to stand up. And they found USC and UCLA and made the deal so that now the SEC and the Big Ten are the two conferences that are out there that are letting each other know, no, you're not going to get away with that and this and that and the other thing. It's just one of those things that I kind of saw it coming. I was a little surprised that the Big Ten made the move to go that far west, but it makes perfect sense for them to do that because that's the way college football is going. It's not the college football of your dad's and mine, Ryan and Tommy, and it's never going to be the same because I think super conferences are coming. I think a league of 60 to 70 to 80 teams maybe is going to come around, and those are going to be the only ones that share the quote-unquote wealth of the television money. And I think that the mid-majors that we used to call are going to be in trouble as far as maintaining a program that would be, viable, if you will, in this day and age with the kind of television money that's out there.
That's too bad, too, because I liked it the old way, but it ain't going to happen anymore. It's going to be north, south, east, and west before you know it, Jimmy. Where do you think Notre Dame's going? Last one from me.
Well, and that's the big question. That's a great question because when Notre Dame goes, there's a domino effect. If they go ACC or SEC, because you know that the SEC is trying to get the ACC in their part.
Right.
They want to get Florida. They want to get Miami, Florida State, and Clemson.
Yep.
They kind of want that group in there. So where does Notre Dame go? Do they go Big Ten? And if they go Big Ten, does Stanford come with them? Because both of those schools have a real educational component with them that I think the Big Ten would love to have.
Sure.
Not to mention the fact that they're great football programs. So there's a lot of stuff going on. But that's a great question. They're the next big domino, Notre Dame. But if they don't join a conference, if they want to play independent like they've been, they're going to get lost in the wash. They're going to find themselves down at the end of the trail drive riding drag because pretty soon there's going to be no room for them.
Jim, what's a big picture question for you on Michigan football as it relates to NIL? I mean, we heard Ryan Day tell his boosters he needs a $13 million payroll, essentially. I mean, you've got Jordan Addison at USC, goes from Pitt to USC, making $3.5 million. That's more than any Lions wide receiver this year, by the way.
Jamison Williams.
More than Jamison Williams and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Where is Michigan's place in college football moving forward? I imagine a university that wants to do it the right way, but how long can you hold all this off?
I don't know. It's a great question, and that's the question I'm sure that's going through the mind of Ward Manuel and the regents. Because here's the deal. If you ever lose the educational component to college football, then it's gone. Because the educational component of college football is what kept it college football. The kids went to school to get a degree. Now, kids are going to school to the highest bidder. And at some point, that line is getting moved and really blurry at this point. But at some point, if it ever goes away, why then would the University of Michigan, or for that matter, any university, Ohio State, Alabama, Michigan State, why would they put their name on a product that basically was a semi-pro endeavor?
No, go ahead. I just wanted to follow up to that because I think you're onto something.
That's why I think the educational component is just vital. And somehow the colleges, the universities, have to maintain that somehow, some way. And I don't know how. I'm not smart enough to know how. There are guys out there that know how. I was talking with a guy the other night that was really great. he said, you know what we need on campus? We need more counselors than agents.
Yeah.
And I think that's a wise statement because the counselors have gone and the agents have taken over. And that's not necessarily a good thing, I think, for the future of the collegiate football world. But, again, money talks, and we all know that.
And just to follow up, and this is the last thing I have, and I certainly appreciate you for your time, Jim. Thanks for staying on with us. But, you know, I hear all of these talking heads. Jim Harbaugh, his recruiting class, it's not good. He's lost it.
We lost another quarterback to the West Coast.
I think that's totally an unfair claim to make. Because I do feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, guys now, a lot of them are just going to the highest bidder. And I think the arguments that you made on the recruiting trail, this guy lost out to Penn State, or this guy went to Notre Dame over Michigan. This guy went to Oregon over Michigan. I think those arguments are thrown out the window now because of this money that's being tossed around. Do you see it like that?
Yeah, Ryan, that's a great point. And what would it be if you said he went to Notre Dame, or he went to SC, or he went to Alabama instead of Michigan, or Ohio State because of Michigan? Instead of saying that, he went to Ohio State for $400,000 more.
Exactly.
You know, and again, that's where the educational component comes in. I mean, let's face it, 90%, maybe 85% now, of the guys that go to college football are going there for a degree and an education. And my point is this: you made it great. It says, they lost him to Notre Dame. No, they didn't. They lost him to $200,000. They lost him to another car, a Bentley. You know, I mean, I don't know, but that should be where the argument is framed, not necessarily of whether the school lost him because of their weight room or their recruiting tactics. Maybe they lost him because the other guy paid more.
That's 1,000% right. That's 1,000% right.
And you know what? And think about that statement I just made. Isn't that sad?
Well, I mean, it's more than that. It's ruined a lot of the sport. It's ruined where we are, in my opinion.
It's terrible.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree. And to be honest with you, being retired,
it's better.
Seeing what's going on with NIL and with the transfer portal, and people talk about this recruiting class and oh my God, Michigan's recruiting class is terrible. Hey, you know what? Next year they get 5 guys in there out of the transfer portal, and all of a sudden that class looks a whole hell of a lot better, doesn't it? And that's the point. You can't tell from one year to the next whether a recruiting class is any good, because the next year that recruiting class may change because the portal's available.
Yeah, you can fix it real quick.
Hey, Jimmy,
with all due respect to Mel Tucker at Michigan State, I mean, if he doesn't go to the transfer portal last year and get guys like Walker and some of those guys, Michigan State's probably a 500 team. But he did. So whether he had a recruiting class or not, the fact is, guys playing in the Michigan State uniform, transfer portal, and recruits all made up a great football team that did wonderful things a year ago. And that was without any preseason kind of talk about them. But if you play the transfer portal game right, you can get healthy real fast.
Just your opinion. One word. JJ or Cade?
Probably Cade, because JJ didn't have physically had some issues with the injury stuff. So I think that probably JJ got the full benefit of Cade got the full benefit of spring.
Okay, Jim.
The great Jim Brandstatter. Thank you, sir. We appreciate it, my friend.
Thanks, Brandy.
Take care, guys. Good talking to you.
All right, good
Have
talking
a good
to
vacation.
you as well. No doubt about
you too.
it. Right. That's great. Good stuff there from Brandy. And Maz, I try to make that argument all the time. I heard Baddoo this morning.
Yeah.
Talking. I sent you the video.
They're the defending champ still.
It bugs the living you-know-what out of me. Michigan is the defending Big Ten champions, and we are talking about them like they're a 7th place bottom feeder in college football.
But you have to look ahead, man.
Okay, but I think Brandy made a great point. This recruiting class means nothing because you could just go out and pluck a guy here, pluck a guy here. It's free agency in college football. You need a quarterback, you go get a quarterback. You need a right guard, you go get a right guard. It doesn't matter who's committing to you.
I get it, but it's not that easy.
It is that easy these days.
They got to be good.
Well, and let me tell you, that's okay.
Okay.
We'll get some good players.
You can get them on MyBookie.
Yeah, right. There you go. And you can get them on MyBookie. Go ahead, Matt.
You can get Bill Keenist next.
He is coming up.
MyBookie is my place. Right here on my home page too. That's where you want to put your bets in. You can bet some baseball tonight. Reds and Yankees, Mets, Braves, Tigers, and the Royals with cheese. Can the Tigers bounce back tonight at Kauffman Stadium? Let's get it on. And don't forget, use that promo code Woodward. Get your free money because they will double your first deposit all the way up to $1,000. That's it. Just use the promo code Woodward. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. If you have a gambling problem, please use the Michigan Problem Gambling Hotline, 1-800-270-7117.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Make sure you're listening to Woodward Sports all day long. Start your morning with the Morning Woodward Show. Spend middays with Big D Energy. Watch and listen your drive home with the Bottom Line. And don't forget about Woodward Bets Daily. All live, all right here on the Woodward Sports Network.
Awesome.
Welcome back, hour number 2 of the program. Ryan Ermanni, Tom Mazawey in the house. We got Sam Flannel. We got Fletch. Braylon's out today. He'll be back tomorrow. Lots to talk today. And by the way, just before we get to Bill Keenist, I want to address some of the people on the chat that are crucifying me for
some of the haters.
After JJ goes pro, who's going to be Michigan's quarterback? Ryan has no idea what he's talking about. Michigan. Let me assure you of one thing. Michigan will have a quarterback. Mm-hmm. Okay,
Harbs could always suit up.
After J.J. McCarthy leaves, they'll get a quarterback. Okay,
they will.
You might not like Cade McNamara. You might think Cade McNamara sucks. All Cade McNamara did was win the Big Ten championship this year. I'm just saying. Okay. Now. He totally sucks. Oh, he's the worst quarterback in the Big Ten. Cade McNamara is awful. I have no idea how he could be wearing a winged helmet right now. But he won the Big Ten. He won the Big Ten freaking championship, which has been about 17 years before anybody else did that at Michigan. So Michigan's going to be just fine at the quarterback position. Let's relax.
They always will. They always have.
Meanwhile, now
the Lions.
The Lions got a quarterback too, man.
I don't know about that.
Well, they do. Let's we'll talk a little Lions, but we'll talk to Bill Keenist.
You got Eric Kramer back?
Oh, stop it, Maz. Bill Keenist is with us. He works. BK,
hey,
how long did you work for the Lions? Over 3 decades or nearly 4?
36 years.
36 years. Did you like how I said that?
Yeah.
Over 3 decades or nearly 4.
Yeah.
Lions historian.
But I started when I was 10. Remember that.
Yeah.
Right.
How many decades did you work for the USFL, more importantly?
Well, one illustrious season with the
Pittsburgh Maulers.
Yeah. Look at
Mike
that.
Rosier, Heisman Trophy winner.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Hey, Bill, thanks for joining us late notice. Wanted to talk to you today because amongst everybody in this area, I think you probably remember Gary Moeller, the situation that happened with him and the Detroit Lions more than anybody. We reference that Paul Ettinger field goal all the time. I was at that game as a fan. My dad took us to the game that day. We were, and Maz, you were at the game working. I know you were there, Bill. What do you remember about that game and that moment and all the talk surrounding that whole year? Bobby Ross.
Mr. Ford wants to see you, and I understand we're going to have a coaching change. We're going to have a press conference. Bobby quit. He's done. And then you hear that it's going to be Mo, and you're ecstatic because everything you've heard about Mo times 10. I mean, I love the guy. He was everything you'd want in a friend, a coach, a leader, just an incredible man. And you've seen it. We've all seen it universally since the news of his passing. I mean, everybody loved the guy. So, that was a very, very unique season. And, the first game we played was the following week against Atlanta. We win on a last-second field goal. The first game's the hardest, obviously, for a new head coach, even though the players were familiar with Mo. It's different when you're in the front of the team room and not a position group. And then we go to New York, and that was the year. Do you guys remember the Giants game and Jim Fossil after that game, after we beat him? That's
I
when
don't
he
remember
said,
that
we're
one.
making the playoffs. And they went to the Super Bowl.
That's right.
But,
I do remember that.
Yeah. And, we went to the Meadowlands at the time and just dominated them. I mean, it wasn't really close at all. And they were in the hunt, as were we. But it was a game at their place, and it may have helped, actually, Fossil with his, challenge to the team after losing to us. And then we came back for Thanksgiving, and I'm going to ask both of you what the trivia question is from that game when we played New England on Thanksgiving that year in Mo's time as a head coach.
Did Barry get hurt?
No, he was done. Barry had left 2 years
okay,
prior.
I got it. Brady.
Okay, you do.
Brady.
His very first NFL pass.
Yes.
Yeah.
Came in that game.
And he was 1 for 3 for 6 yards.
Yep.
And that was the extent of Tom's rookie season. And we're talking about Mo, and you guys may know better than I, but I believe Mo was the one of the main ones that recruited Tom.
Oh wow!
From high school. Yeah, I'm almost certain of that. And I'm gonna give you another trivia, I guess, from that Giants game when we went up there and beat the Giants with Mo as our coach. Guess who scored a touchdown on a pass reception for the Giants in that game?
Lomas Brown.
No,
he was with us at the time. He was still with us.
This is a great trivia.
I thought it was a trick question.
No, not trick.
Just give me one hint.
He's in Detroit now. Working in Detroit now.
Dan Campbell?
Yes, sir. Yeah, how about that? Yeah.
How about that?
Very good. Yeah,
good job,
Dan,
right?
Dan, yeah. But we had the New England game where we won big, and then we had 2 tough road games at Minnesota and at Green Bay and lost them. I mean, Minnesota, I think they were 11-2 at the time. They were one of the best teams in the league. And Green Bay in Lambeau was Green Bay in Lambeau. And then there's a couple things I remember about that Bears game that you guys probably remember. We were up early. Charlie Batch started the game, and there was a play in the second quarter, I believe. We were going right to left as you looked at the field from the press box.
Right to left on your radio dial.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Charlie hit Herman with a pass that Herman will tell you to this day he can't believe he didn't catch it. And it would have been 6. So that would have put us up 17-0. Everybody remembers the Ettinger field goal, understandably and appropriately so. But that pass that we didn't convert, would have put us up 17-0, and I don't see the Bears coming back from that, but they did, and it was just a series of inexplicable events. Charlie went out, got hurt. Stoney Case came in, threw a pick six to R.W. McQuarters. We got the ball back late in the game with 1st and goal. We scored a touchdown. We probably win the game. We had to settle for a field goal by Jason to tie the game, and then the Bears changed the course of Lions history when Edinger kicked the 53-yard field goal
on Christmas Eve.
Hey, Bill, do you think that Matt Millen at that time had made up his mind on Matt Millen, even if they win that Bears game, if they go on to lose a playoff game? Does it just, does he still make that change at head coach?
Well, Matt wasn't with the team at that time. He hadn't been hired yet.
That's right.
Yeah. So,
does Matt? Okay, let me rephrase this then, because you're absolutely right. Does Matt Millen get hired if they make the playoffs that year?
I mean, it's hard to. I don't want to speak for Mr. Ford. I don't know the answer to that question. But for Mo to have taken over under trying circumstances. Shocking circumstances, really, as we talked about Bobby Quinton with a winning record. It probably would have been hard to make a change. I mean, you're in the playoffs. Once you get in the playoffs, anything can happen. So that's something that, I doubt we'll ever know, but I think it would have been hard.
Hey, Billy, can you hang on? We're going to take a quick break, and I'll talk to the Lions with you.
Absolutely.
Let's do it. Bill Keenist going to stay on with us next. More on this year's version of the Detroit Lions. But first, a message from SMA.
The sports marketing agency helps spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Their new podcast, This is the F Word, helps spread awareness of fentanyl and other addictions. Go to thesportsma.com if you are struggling or know someone who is.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Get a free Woodward Sports t-shirt. That's right, a free Woodward Sports t-shirt all month long at Big Frog in Novi.
Big Frog!
Big Frog. Just stop in, tell them we sent you, and they will print you one on the spot. So go to Big Frog Novi today and get your free t-shirt, or visit them online at bigfrog.com/Novi. Again, that is bigfrog.com/Novi.
Right back here, Woodward Sports Network. Brian Ermanni, Tom Mazawey, Braylon out today. We've got Bill Keenist back with us, Lions historian, spent 36 years in the Lions organization, now an NFL national game rep. Bill, you wanted to react to something that we were talking about with Brandy.
Yeah, I was on and listening to the last few minutes of your conversation about the reality of college football today, right?
Oh, yeah.
And how Coach Tucker approached his season with the transfers and all that. And for a minute there, I thought you were talking about high school football. And I say that somewhat sarcastically, but there's an element of truth to it, because I'm very close to the high school sports scene, have been with my sons. And what goes on in high school today is in some respects just as extreme, if not worse, especially with the private schools. They're recruiting all over the country. And now the public schools, I believe, and there's others that know the lay of the land even better than I do, I think the private or the public schools are doing the same thing, the school choice and all that, just to catch up and compete with the private schools. If you looked at a 10-year snapshot of the MHSAA champions in every sport over, like I said, the last 10 years, the proportion of private school champions is probably 8 to 2.
Wow.
80%. When the number of private schools compared to public schools is probably just the opposite.
Sure.
So, my problem with it is, what are we teaching our kids? Okay, we can win if we get these transfers, and you lose the reality of the hometown flavor. I mean, there are public school programs where none of the kids went to the same grade school, especially in
Bill, I think you raise a hell of a point.
My kid ain't going to see the field. I can tell you that for sure.
A hell of a point.
Yeah.
So, and you're close to high schools. I am too.
Yeah.
What about the parents' culpability here?
No
because
question.
to me, a lot of this is on the parents.
Yeah.
We think our kids are going to be the next Barry freaking Sanders.
Yeah.
That's what we
No
think.
question.
The next Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
So we send them to this camp and that camp and let them only play one sport.
And we travel.
You got 12-year-olds, 10-year-olds going state to state on the weekends playing tournaments.
It's terrible. And sadly, money's a big part of it. Believe me.
It's a huge business.
It's a business, and that's sad. But when you got parents who believe that their kid is going to have a better chance playing at the next level, let alone getting a scholarship, if they're at, and I'm not accusing any schools, I'm just looking at some of the most successful ones, the Brother Rices and the St. Mary's and Country Days and what have you. The parents, they're gonna go with that. I mean, I remember a family who had a good athlete at Lake Orion years ago, and all I ever heard was, well, he's going to go to Brother Rice and play quarterback. He's going to go, and I'm like, wow. And what's sad, Lake Orion has a great program as well, and he went to Brother Rice, and I don't know that he ever played. But it is a problem, and I think the parents certainly can help it. But at the state level, what other states have done, and what I believe would be a logical first step, and it's nothing new, when you get to the championship levels or championship rounds, have a private school division and a public school. Just separate the two. I think Wisconsin does it. I mean, what's the worst thing that can come from that? You have twice as many student athletes, high school kids, that can call themselves a state champion. And I think it would help alleviate some of the craziness that's going on at the high school level. And I say this, full disclosure, it's not, this is nothing new. I remember growing up in Western Pennsylvania on the Monongahela River in the River Valley, where high school football was bigger than big. And someone's dad might get transferred to the mill up the river where the football program was better. And that stuff happened all the time. But it doesn't, to me, it doesn't teach the kids the essence of competition in sports. You're not going to win every time, but you define winning differently. You define it by staying with your team, with your teammates, with the friends you grew up with. But, college is whatever you want to call it now, the Wild Wild West. But high school's not that far behind.
Yeah, and we're talking to Bill Keenist, spent 36 years with the Lions organization, now an NFL national game rep, Lions historian as well. Bill, I want to stay with this topic because I think it's an important one. I don't want to get off of it just yet because we're approaching high school football season. What do you think needs to happen for that scenario to take place where you have perhaps a private school league, regardless of enrollment, right? I mean,
you need money.
Just look at like University Liggett in Grosse Pointe, Country Day, Birmingham Brother Rice, De La Salle, Orchard Lake St. Mary's. I mean, you have all of these, regardless of enrollment.
Right.
You know, I mean, you don't need to go compete with Grosse Pointe South,
No, there's a way.
or Holly, or whoever.
No,
You know?
there's a way to do it. It's being done as we speak in other states. I can't speak to the consequence of those decisions. You know, has the recruiting been diminished? But I certainly believe, from my experience, that in the state of Michigan, what was once a private school reality with recruiting throughout the state. I mean, I remember a kid in Oxford back in, 20 years ago, probably now. He was a middle school student. He was like 6'2", 250, right? In 8th grade, he was offered, I'm not going to mention the school, he was offered an academic scholarship to a powerhouse private school for football, powerhouse. His GPA was like 2.5.
Wow.
So it is what it is. Don't disguise it. And he took it. His parents took it. It's a great education, obviously, but he didn't play. Okay. What he could have done at Oxford, you know, like some of the other public schools, like Holly, like Orion, like what we're talking about, I think would have been better for the kid. But who knows? But I really believe that's a bucket list thing of mine. If I would ever have any opportunity to impact it, because when I'm listening to you guys talking about college sports, I'm thinking, well, we could be talking about high school sports, because in a different way, but with the result and focus being the same, winning. That's what's been happening to our high schools for years.
Well, Bill, the genie's out of the bottle in college football, and it's never coming back, I don't think, and it's ruined it for me.
Yeah.
It's ruined it.
Well,
I don't want these kids are getting, you know, and I'm going to be called the old man, get off my lawn, but a kid is making $4 million, $3.5 million to go play at a school, transfer from a school, all that work that coach put in to go get that kid to his school. Who the hell wants to be a coach anymore? I mean, but they're making millions and millions of dollars themselves, but it's just a bad scene, man. It's a terrible scene.
Well, it's scary, I think. I mean, we all grew up in the golden age of sports, 60s, 70s, 80s, and certainly the golden age of college football. Where the future lies is anybody's guess, and it's scary to me. It's really what's going to happen when everything settles, if everything settles. I don't even have a clue to predict what it's going to look like. I mean, I went to Ohio University, and I'm scared to death about my Bobcats. Where are all the MAC schools going to end up when this is settled? Now, that being said, truthfully, maybe for the MAC, it would be better to be, you know, Division I AA or whatever that, you know, classification would be now. Because I remember my senior year at Ohio U, the final column I wrote as a sports editor of the paper, the school paper, and I upset the football coach and the AD, even though we were very close. I basically wrote that Ohio U and all the MAC schools should be Division I, and the basis for that, and there's an application to this as well, because Ohio U, Central Michigan, Eastern Michigan, Toledo, Bowling, whatever. If you can't be the champion of what you say you are, then you're not who you think you are. Simply meaning the MAC schools could go undefeated forever and a day. Now, they have the playoff system now. I get it. But the reality is they're never going to win a national championship. Okay? So why not go, and maybe this will force that, which could be a good result. Maybe this will force the mid-majors to become their own entity.
Yeah.
And then you could play for a national title. You're still the best at what you are and who you are. So, but I agree with you guys. It's the Wild Wild West times 10. It's scary out there.
Hey, Bill, I got about 30 seconds, but I got to get a thought from you on the Detroit Lions this season.
30 seconds.
I have said 10-7, 6-3 at home, 4-4 on the road. Let's go, baby. Am I crazy?
No, you're not crazy. I mean, you can look at the Bengals, certainly from last year. But the one thing I've always tried to guard against myself and suggested, when the schedule comes out, we all do the same thing. We go through check, win, loss, win, 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 loss. But it's not who you're playing on the schedule that comes out in May. It's who you're playing when you're playing those teams. Because every team today will be far different when the Lions play them and when they play each other. Injuries, all those factors. But what I love about the Lions situation is the culture and the mentality that seems to be emanating from everyone and everywhere. I think, who we talked about earlier, Dan Campbell, has done a great job with that. And, the culture is critical. The mental belief is just as critical. And, we don't want to get too crazy with expectations. I remember, as you guys do, Wayne Fontz's first year, we ended with 5 wins in a row.
That was
Barry
my brothers.
Sanders, rookie. I mean, it was sky high the next year. We finished in last place.
What do you mean I'm fired?
What do you mean I'm fired?
Yeah.
I love Wayne.
So, but what I like about what the Lions are doing foundationally, they're building it. Okay, they didn't reach for a quarterback this year. Okay, they did it. They have a plan, and from all appearances, they're sticking to it. So when you do that, ultimately it's about winning one game, the game, not a game to go 8-8, 9-7, or 10-7, or whatever. Nowadays, it's about winning the game. So you got to build toward that, and I think that's what they're doing. So but again, anything's possible.
And that guy that we used to have, who gave you that helmet behind you, he did that. He did that.
He did.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
He did that.
Yes, he did. And I display that proudly.
Absolutely. I would too. Bill Keenist, thank you so much, man. Can't wait to catch up with you again sometime soon, okay?
Buddy. All right, guys. See you.
Always a pleasure. Thanks, Bill Keenist, joining us
Bye-bye.
here. Look,
if we didn't get sidetracked on high school football, I was going to ask him really, what sent Bobby Ross over the edge? I really want to know.
You really needed to ask that?
I do. I just want to know what finally put him over the edge. I'll ask him on the phone.
Yeah, ask him on the phone. If we get an answer, we'll share that with you.
We'll share.
Whoever made this graphic here,
it's beautiful.
That's a beautiful graphic. It's a beautiful, current,
it's gorgeous
graphic.
It's gorgeous.
I love that.
It is.
And I love the Detroit Lions. My
Me too.
Goodness.
I do too.
All right, guys, we're going to take a break. Come right back. When we do, we can react to anything that Keenist says. Also, Maz, I'm upset with Tiger Woods.
I know you are.
I am actually really disappointed in Tiger Woods.
I hear you.
And I'll tell you why. And we'll do that next. But first, a message from the Folding Warehouse.
All right. I can tell you about the Folding Warehouse. In Hamtramck, Chris Hutt getting his stitches out today. He's got a brand new knee, and he is going to be better than ever. And he could tell you everything about folding because he invented the game. Football and bowling put together, 2 ways to play. $12 unlimited open play or a private lane reservation, all for yourself or 10 or 12 of your private and your bestest friends and family. That's right, $120 for 2 hours. No one will bother you, so you can charge everyone less than $10. That's it, and that's your $120. Actually, the bar is high. Speaking of Marty Morningweg, you can have any drink you want, multiple full bars, and they got over 100 beers to offer, so you can't name a beer that they don't have. And the $2 mystery beer machine. You don't know what's going to pop out of that thing. Bring your own food in, or even have it delivered. Get your fold on. For more information, it's foldingwarehouse.com.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Kroger's. And if you want to know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
Ciabattas, summer salads, and dip shakes. All at Big Boy. Try a chicken club, chicken cordon bleu, or sunrise ham and cheddar. All on our grilled ciabatta bread. Or keep it light with our Michigan apple, chicken Caesar, or Greek salad. And don't forget to cool off with a frosty hand-dipped cookies and cream or strawberry shake. You heard it here first. Summer just got better.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Every day for you.
Planet Fitness is inviting all high school teens between the ages of 14 and 19 to work out for free all summer long via the High School Summer Pass, and that goes all the way until August 31st. Planet Fitness is home of the Judgment-Free Zone, where you can work out in a non-intimidating, judgment-free atmosphere with membership starting at just $10 a month.
Only $10?
Only $10. Or you get a black card for $24.99 a month. Join today in club or online at planetfitness.com. Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
Essential.
Gotta tell you, Maz. Okay.
What are you telling me?
Got a bone to pick with Tiger Woods here.
I disagree with you.
Very good. So, we've talked at great length, about this LIV Tour versus the PGA, the Saudi-backed LIV Tour. Okay?
54 holes.
Right.
Versus 72.
Either way, fine. I think regardless of the format of the LIV Tour, I think so many people are all righteous that the Saudis are backing the golf tour. Give me a break. Tiger Woods, who is worth $1 billion.
At least,
at minimum, $1 billion, is saying that these players that have today, I just don't understand. That's what he has said. Now, the LIV Tour has given former major champions Bryson DeChambeau, Dustin Johnson, Brooks Koepka over $100 million.
Just to play.
That's a lot of money.
That's salary.
So my problem is when you have over $1 billion, you then get all self-righteous. And let's look at how Tiger Woods made his money. Who is Tiger Woods' biggest endorser? Nike. Go read about the sweatshops in China. How did Tiger Woods make his money off the backs of basically almost like slave-like labor situations? Has he given any money to them?
Not sure.
It's just either way. Like, look, I'm not saying this the politically correct way as you're supposed to say this stuff.
I got it.
But who makes Tiger Woods golf? Who makes Nike golf products? Do a simple Google search on Nike sweatshops, China. I mean, I'm sorry, and I know you're laughing at their Fletch.
You don't have to be sorry.
But I mean, this is the most ridiculous thing that I've ever. That is so hypocritical.
Do you have his thing to read?
It's right here.
Why don't you read it?
It's long.
I know, but it's okay.
I disagree with it.
Let people understand it.
I disagree with it. I think what they've done is they've turned their back on what's allowed them to get to this position.
You could skip some lines if you'd like.
Who knows what's going to happen in the near future? The World Golf Rankings, I don't care about that. Some of these players may not ever get a chance to play in the major championships. That is a possibility. We don't know for sure yet. It's all up to the major championship bodies to make that determination, but that is a possibility. But the players will never, ever get a chance to play in a major championship, never get a chance to experience this right here, walk down the fairways at Augusta National. That, to me, I just don't understand it. I understand, but they're able to play in the majors.
I didn't understand why he wrote that.
They are able to play in the majors. They just played in the United States Open Championship.
Yeah. So
sure, maybe they can't play in the PGA Championship. Now, I don't think the Masters has made a call on that, to be honest with you. And the PGA being looked at by the federal government here in the United States.
He was complaining that it's only 54 holes. He was complaining that they play loud music, blaring music, I think he called it. These are the things that he doesn't like. He likes the art of golf. He likes that they don't have to put in, he says they don't have to put in the practice that he puts in.
It's a lot easier to say that when you have $1 billion.
But here's what he's saying, Ryan. He's saying because they already have a salary of $100 million, that they don't have to put the work in because they don't give a damn about winning a tournament because they're already making $100 million. He has to win that tournament to earn that money. That's what he is saying in his statement.
Well, that is dumb, too, because every major sport in the country pays you a salary. Kevin Durant makes, Damian Lillard. Here's a perfect example.
$60 million a year.
$60 million. 2 years, $122 million.
He kind of spread all his stuff out.
Excuse me. Fine. 2-year, $122 million extension.
That's fake
He never
money.
has to play he never has to play.
I know. This is different with golf. This is golf.
Mike Trout, $400 million. Never has to play another game.
But this is golf, Ryan.
So is golf right?
No, this is a different sport. Golf, from what I understand, doesn't pay a salary to the golfers. And I might be wrong. I don't think I am.
No, they don't. You have to win. But
not in the LIV Tour.
If I'm Dustin Johnson, hell yeah, pay me.
Okay. So now he don't give a damn about winning the Sam Reynolds Open because I'm already getting my check. So Tiger's like, hell, I'm not playing in that because I love the game of golf. I want to earn my money. I want to practice my ass off. He walked 54 holes by 1 o'clock this afternoon at St. Andrews today.
I understand that.
I'm just saying what he's saying.
I understand, but it's a whole hell of a lot easier to say that when you have $1 billion.
But he earned that money.
Most of the money he's made is on the backs of endorsement deals.
Partially.
And investments.
Yes. But now I want you to... But you have to look at it differently now, just from what I explained to you.
Maybe the PGA needs to look at it differently now and pay the golfers a salary.
The PGA has to come up to the LIV, to the LIV. They have to change their snobby ways. You want to play? You got to pay. It's pretty simple. To me, it sounds like the LIV Tour is the way to go.
Am I wrong about this? Please.
I think you are.
I mean, jump in here if you guys want. I think that these golfers should be paid a salary. And it's a whole hell of a lot easier to not be hypocritical. You know what? It's easy for... I'll give you an example. We'll continue on with this next.
Sure.
I'm fired up about it.
You should be.
I hate hypocrites. I hate hypocrites.
I don't think he's a hypocrite.
He's a hypocrite.
Okay.
He's being a hypocrite.
All right.
First, a message from Les Stanford Chevrolet. No secret, new cars are hard to come by. I'm pissed.
Oh, okay.
But they are available at Les Stanford. You got to make a plan, though. Allocation coming in for lease or purchase of new vehicles. Les Stanford has over 350 pre-owned cars on the lot right now. All makes, all models, all years. Some with less than 500 miles on it. For more, visit lesstanford.com. lesstanford.com. Find new roads.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Hey, it's Scott from the Woodward Bet Show. Hey, are you guys fired up about fantasy football as we are? I know, we're real excited. You guys got to make sure you join us at 4:30 over the Woodward Bets YouTube page so we can start talking about some football. Hey, also, you guys got to make sure you get over to that app store and download oddstrader.com today. Listen, it's got live scoring, play-by-play updates, and the best place to check all the odds at the sports books right in the palm of your hand. But hey, let's get back to that winner. Listen, we're going to roll with the Dodgers here tonight against St. Louis. St. Louis have been struggling a little bit. Dodgers, 11-12 their last 12 games. Sounds good to me. oddstrader.com. Woodward Bets. Check it out.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
Woodward Sports, Alta, and the American Cancer Society present The Big Dig, Saturday, July 16th at 275 East Highland in Howell, Michigan. The Big Dig allows children of all ages a hands-on immersive introduction into the field of STEM. Alta's professionals will help you put you in the driver's seat. Bring the whole family for The Big Dig, July 16th in Howell, courtesy of Alta.
Ryan, are you going to stop wearing Michigan Jordan gear because they are also made in China? The answer is no. And the precise reason why the answer is no is because I am not a hypocrite. I, from day one, have said that the players that have left the PGA Tour to go play at LIV, God bless you. Go take that Saudi money.
You have. They're just breaking your chops on wearing the Michigan
I have
gear.
zero problem with these golfers taking Saudi money to play in the LIV Tour. Because you know why? Because we're all a little nasty. We're all a little dirty. The same people that wear Nike gear and the same people that have their iPhones glued to them, go see how those things are made. Okay? You want to be self-righteous?
Not big boy.
Right. I'm just saying, I am not a hypocrite. I don't care
I am not
how you make your money because our government alone, you know what I mean?
I am not a crook.
We are in bed with Saudi Arabia. Our president is over there right now begging for oil.
We're crooks. There's no question.
Hello? So why the President of the United States can be over here talking with this murderer in Saudi Arabia, begging for oil, but Dustin Johnson can't take $100 million from him?
Bro, we're giving Dr. Death back to Russia to get Brittany Griner back here.
So
Brittany Griner should be back here. Like, she should have been back here a week after she was taken. But that's another story.
I mean, I just don't understand what the deal is. I don't understand.
But we're losing our trend here. But let's go back to Tiger for a minute.
He's a hypocrite.
No. I just want to tell you, all he meant was he is saying these guys at the LIV Tour are losing their way. They're not taking golf seriously anymore. They're this there for the money. That's what he's saying.
Aren't we?
Does that make him a hypocrite? Here's a guy that has got basically every bone in his body broken. And he's picked himself up by use any adjective that it is. What a phenomenal athlete this man is to be trying to play at the highest. He should not be playing golf.
I want you to know that I love Tiger Woods.
He should not be playing golf.
I'm one of Tiger Woods' biggest fans.
As I am.
And I always have been, and I never stopped being that, regardless of all the problems and everything like that. What I'm saying is, I hate it when rich people preach.
But he's preaching about other rich people.
Not necessarily.
Yes, they're all rich.
He's saying you got to go earn your money and win.
They're all rich.
I'm saying maybe the PGA should adapt to.
They'll have to if they want to play ball. Otherwise, they're going to have like a bunch of young rookies.
The PGA should adapt and pay a salary to professional golfers, like the NBA, like Major League Baseball, like the NFL. You get guaranteed money the day you sign that contract. Now, your salary after that, could be ripped away if they cut you. But there's a certain number of guaranteed money that you make, regardless if you ever step on the field. What the LIV Tour has put some pressure on the PGA to write a check. And they're being looked at, by the way, the PGA Tour, not LIV, the PGA Tour, being looked at by the federal government as some sort of monopoly.
Just like the NFL was looked at by the USFL.
Exchange, yeah.
And the USFL won that lawsuit, but they were awarded $3. and had to go bankrupt. The PGA was a monopoly, but the LIV Tour don't give a damn because they have so much money. They don't care.
Long live LIV.
Live on. Play your loud music.
Hey, you know who's
scream at every hole.
Right.
I don't like golf claps. Scream and have fun.
Excuse me. What is the most exciting venue in golf? Bethpage Black, the Phoenix Open, the
dump,
Waste Management Open, the 16th hole.
And what's the most exciting tennis tournament? The U.S. Open in New York City.
So, PGA Tour, you have this. You have knocked it down. Instead of, how many golfers love that 16th hole at the Waste Management Open in Phoenix?
They all do.
They all do. How many people love playing at Bethpage Black in Jersey, New York area?
They all do.
They all do. Why? Because of the raucous fans.
And then they go to Bada Bing when they're done.
That's not so bad either. Either way, I'm just saying there's a lot of hypocrites in there. There's a couple other topics I want to hit on before we get done here. One, Richard Jefferson. I love the fact that he's trying to be an NBA referee. He legit went to referee training school.
He looks good as a ref.
And he was refereeing Summer League basketball. Richard Jefferson, who has played in NBA Finals, a long career in the NBA, is trying to be a referee. I wonder how difficult that is to do once you played.
It would be very hard if it wasn't Summer League.
Mm-hmm.
If it was in an actual game against his peers, that would really be hard. But against rookies and stuff like that, probably not so bad. We have the video.
Yeah, is there video in there?
Yeah, we got it. Look how good he looks. He looks like a ref.
He looks very good as an NBA official. And they were having some fun with him, too.
By the way, is there any person in better shape than an NBA ref?
No.
The NBA refs are in tip-top physical condition.
Better than the NFL
the NFL,
refs.
Some of the NFL guys
some of the
are
NFL referees,
guys
but
now.
like some of those side judges.
Yeah, the side judges, they need a little work.
Leave a little
but the
less to be
Hockley brothers and all of those guys, they get in shape.
That's father and son, by the way, the Hockuleys.
Yes.
Gronk reiterates he's done. I kind of believe him.
He says, I am done with football. Period.
I kind of believe him. Do you?
Yeah, he doubled down today. He said, I'm done. There's no escape from.
I was a total 180 from him total 180.
Yeah. Buy in. It's over.
Yeah.
He ain't coming back.
Good. Guys, it's that time of the day. We like to play Madison's videos of the days. We'll do it next. But first, a message from Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Over 100 locations nationwide, many of them locally here in the Metro Detroit area. Always available. Open 7 days a week, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. A precision haircut by a talented stylist. All you got to do, walk in, sign in, sit down. Before you know it, you are handsome and clean. Ooh-wee! Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
It took exploring 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests, but we believe Gypsy Vodka is the smoothest vodka on the market. Don't believe us? Ask the owners.
We're Mike and Adam Kazanowski with High Five Spirits Distillery. We're in close to about 1,200 locations throughout Michigan. We wanted to create a brand that was geared more towards freedom, love, adventure, and at the end of the day, we really wanted to tell a story that inspired other people to take risk, follow their dreams, whatever that might be.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991. Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
OddsTrader.com is the #1 site for your game day bets, play-by-play updates, live scores, and the best price on every game from multiple sportsbooks. Go to OddsTrader.com right now for your best bet. Again, that is OddsTrader.com.
Here we are.
I forgot, man.
Yeah.
Were you a Breaking Bad guy?
Oh God,
Okay.
I am.
All right.
I was glued to Breaking Bad all weekend.
Okay.
And then Better Call Saul last night.
Did you watch it?
I listen. I watched the first season of Better Call Saul and couldn't get into it. Now I am going to give it another chance because of how great Breaking Bad was. My juice has been flowing about this. And I did turn on Better Call Saul last night, not knowing
You didn't watch
the story.
it, did you?
I watched like 15 minutes
Oh,
of
no.
it. Why?
You're not supposed to watch that now.
I understand. But
it was riveting. I don't know how many Breaking Bad fans are out there, but Better Call Saul is catching up to Breaking Bad.
Really?
It's catching up. And it's the prequel to Breaking Bad. There's only 6 episodes left
now
in the series.
Was Walt and
They're
Jesse?
not in yet.
They're not in yet.
They're not in yet, but we will see them before the series is over.
Wow.
And Saul is at Cinnabon at the end of this thing.
Now, Mike was
He's
one of my
awesome.
favorite
Mike
characters.
Ermantraub is phenomenal. Gus Fring is phenomenal. The man, the myth, the legend from Los Pollos Hermanos, the chicken man.
So, just one more thing about Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Do you know one of Mike's best roles? Michael Ermantraub.
You mean
who
before
I forget,
this?
Yeah.
What?
Beverly Hills Cop.
Oh, yeah. He was very good
He
at
was
that.
the guy that killed Eddie Murphy's friend.
Didn't he had hair at the time?
Yes.
Yeah, he had hair at the time.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
How about that?
I don't know if that was one of his better roles.
One of his better roles.
Yeah, but he always plays a
bad guy.
a bad cop.
But
or
he's a
bad-
good guy here.
He is. He's a good and a bad
He's
guy
a
at the same
he's
time.
a good bad guy.
But did you finish Breaking Bad?
Oh, God, yes.
Now,
It's the best television series
look.
of all time. I put it up above The Sopranos.
Okay, so
because of the way it ended.
Walter White, Tony Soprano. 1 and 2. Who do you
Oof.
got? Who you got? 1 and 2.
Well, I mean, mano a mano, I'd say Tony Soprano, but Walter White really hard. I like the show Breaking Bad because I like the way it ended better than The Sopranos.
Phenomenal
There
ending.
Plus, there was never a bad episode of Breaking Bad.
There was one.
Which
Fly.
one?
I didn't like Fly.
I love The Fly.
I
That's
didn't
one of
like-
my favorite episodes.
I didn't like The Fly. Fly was a throw-in, boring episode.
Okay,
I
that's
enjoyed
one in 6 seasons.
Yeah.
There
Now,
were-
Sam, did you watch Better Call Saul yet?
I watched the first 4 seasons or so, and I'm a big Breaking Bad fan. I don't think Better Call Saul is quite as good, but Breaking
You
Bad...
gave up?
It was... Okay, so at the time, the
Shut your
first
mic
4
off.
seasons were on Netflix.
No,
and
I
the
wanna
final
hear
one-
this.
All right. The first 4 seasons were on Netflix, and we finished the first 4 before the 5th one came out on Netflix, and it just took a while, and I haven't gotten quite back into it yet because I've been busy. But maybe tonight, maybe the next night, I'll give it another shot. It was very, very good, but I
It's superb.
never liked it quite as much as Breaking Bad.
Kim Wexler could be top 5 all-time TV people.
Kim Wexler?
Kim Wexler from
Is that
Better
the girl?
Call Saul. Yeah, it's going to be...
That's the blonde?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's going to be... Yeah, she's awesome.
That's the blonde?
Yes.
Very good.
Yeah,
Hey,
she's going to be Saul's wife.
Hey, did you see Cody Clemens?
I did.
Down,
Cody
Akil
Clemens,
Baddoo up.
Akil Baddoo down. You got him up here yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
He heard you.
There you go.
Akil Baddoo is up, and let me see. Did I have something else here for Tigers? Let's see. Oh, yeah, August 2nd is the trade deadline. And just to reiterate, in case you missed it yesterday, Austin Meadows shut down again with the double Achilles, one in each leg there, and injury. So he is shut down. They're going to start his rehab over again. So don't expect to see him anytime soon. Tigers, White Sox tonight again. Excuse me, Tigers, Royals with cheese. So
There you go.
There you go. You're all caught up.
Absolutely. Time of the day we like to play Maz's videos of the day.
I introduced myself.
And now it's time for Maz's videos of the day, only on the Woodward Sports Network.
And I'll start you off, Ryan. Our little, what do you call the things that we put out in the beginning of the show? The what? At the beginning, on our YouTube page. What do they call those things?
Graphics? The thumbnail?
The thumbnail. The picture of the thumbnail was Jim Harbaugh next to SpongeBob and Ryan laughing. This is the main reason why we did that.
You consider SpongeBob like a hero of yours? Yeah, I love SpongeBob. So does Jack.
Okay.
Just the way it attacks with enthusiasm, unknown to mankind at all times. Yeah. So I mean,
He's just always happy.
Always happy, always positive. He's energetic.
I think I read it, and you said you like SpongeBob's work ethic, that he goes to work every day and goes and gets it.
Yeah,
and,
I mean, some of the times where he's flipping the burgers like he's got 4 or 5 or 6 arms.
Yeah,
he loves it. He loves work.
Yeah, you gotta
takes
love
pride
that.
in his job.
Yeah,
I mean, what's there not to love about SpongeBob?
That is great.
The other guy, who's the other guy? Squidward.
No,
not a fan. Yeah,
he's
got
the
a bad
opposite.
attitude.
Bad.
There you
That's
go,
funny.
Jim. I'm so with Jim on this. I love Spongy. SpongeBob is my guy. Makes me laugh. Puts me in a good mood. I do have a lot of ornaments. They hang on my tree at home.
Right.
I dig SpongeBob.
That's so good.
I know it's not. He's supposed to be.
I never saw an episode of SpongeBob.
I get it. Your kids were too young to get it, and Nicole probably won't let them watch it.
No, she won't.
If I know Nicole, she will not
too
let
old.
them. She will not let them watch
Too
it.
old.
And when they, she won't let them watch it. That's for sure. All right, my next one. Ryan sent me this one, although I would have eventually seen it.
Yeah, it's just the dive.
Yeah, this poor guy.
What was your reaction when you saw it?
Oh, I couldn't believe it was going to happen. This is a quickie. Do not do this at home for your home pool, please.
Okay, go ahead. What? Oh, my God. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, my God.
He's okay.
Yeah. Beautiful deck, by the way. I'd love to have a deck like that around my pool. That's a beauty. But don't do that. Now, I have another one pretty similar to that. This is a young lady swinging on a rope pretending she is Jane to her Tarzan boyfriend. Here it is. Yeah, she didn't quite make it, right? She did not quite make it.
That's terrible.
That is terrible. So, I don't know. I feel bad for her, but life goes on, right? This next one, we take you to, I think it's a high school cafeteria. It is, we call it the Great Table Race. Very smart kids here.
What in the world is happening?
We can't hear them?
Yeah, you can't do that. Pirates of the Caribbean. We're not getting taken down, Maz.
I can hear
it.
There's Pirates of the Caribbean theme in there? I didn't even hear it. Shows you how bad my ears are.
That is pretty funny.
My wife has made me an appointment with the audiologist, by the way. I guess I'm going to go get my ears checked. I am hard of hearing, by the way, wearing these my whole life.
I know.
For 26 years.
My ear hurts so bad right now.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
With this in my ear, actually, I got to take it out.
That's a bad thing. So, nice going here. Hey, a day at the races. I love the horse races, but this is taking it a little too far. How about some ostrich racing? This we got to hear.
Oh, that is Sylvester's nightmare. Just took a tumble there in the gate. Oh, but he bounces back up. Feather Duster is raring to go along the inside.
Air conditioning
here we go. They're ready to go,
working
folks. Here we go.
All the riders are locked and loaded.
I'm so friggin' hot.
I know. Here you go.
Here they go.
What in the world? What in the Sam's name hell
At
is
the
this?
start,
Watch
I
this
thought
now.
Putty Tat took the lead.
What in
Moving
the
through
world?
inside, long
See ya.
lashes. Oh,
So
long
who
lashes
wins?
lost the
Does he
rider.
still
Feather
win?
Duster is next.
Watch this.
They
There
came
goes
flying
another one.
low with Sylvester's nightmare. But as they come down to the line, I taught Putty.
Sir.
I taught Putty
Man.
Tat in the photo with
Where
flying
you find
low.
this stuff, Maz?
I don't know what to tell you.
Oh.
You can't make this up. You heard the guy in the background. And finally, last night, NBA Summer League play. What would it be without a fan brawl in the stands?
Summer League?
Summer League.
I didn't see this. How it started.
Here we go.
Oh, God.
Let's go. Let's get ready to rumble.
Oh, that was it. The flip.
Let's play the feud.
Oh, come on,
Right
man.
there.
Come on, Carmelo.
Right there again.
Come
Ooh,
on,
he's
Melo.
standing and hitting. That's not fair,
Oh,
huh?
man.
Standing and hitting. So
Punching
not
down.
fair. So not fair.
Oh,
Somebody
man.
hit that guy.
I
There
hate
you
to
go.
see that.
Welcome to NBA Summer League play.
All right. Hey, Maz, great stuff out of you. Fletch, Flannel, great job, gentlemen. Braylon will be back tomorrow. Thanks to everybody. Hey, like the show. Let's get to over 100 likes real quick. Can you do that for us if you're watching on YouTube?
That would be nice.
Also, subscribe to Woodward Sports Network. We'll see you tomorrow.
We'll see you.